Hi and welcome to this webinar on picking the right school for your child. My name's Andrea Grassby and I'm the Director of Marketing and Admissions at Alice Smith School in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. And during this webinar we'll look at some of the factors that you might want to consider when choosing a school for your child. So the very first thing you need to look at is creating your shortlist. There are over 170 international schools in Malaysia, so you need to narrow down your choice fairly quickly. You can't be visiting 170 schools and making a choice from those. So what are the basic things you need to consider, first of all, to help you select your child's school? So when we speak to parents in school here at Alice Smith, there are a couple of initial considerations that will usually pare down the list of international schools a parent is considering. And one of the first things that we find parents are considering is the curriculum. So many parents will have a good idea of what sort of standard of curriculum they're looking for initially. Are they looking for a British school, an American school, an Indian curriculum, or an Australian curriculum, or did they want to stay with the school that teaches the local Malaysian system? Choosing which curriculum you want to look at will immediately take schools off your list and begin to make the number more manageable. After curriculum, one of the other factors we find that's picked a lot is budget. There's a huge variation in the cost of schools, private and international schools in KL, Malaysia and throughout the world. And understanding exactly how much you can afford to make sure you get the right fit for your child and your family is an important concern. And make sure when you do this, you don't just look at tuition. Tuition is a big factor, but look at all the other things that are around that. Do you need to pay additional fees for technology, for re-enrollment every year? But also look at the things that your child will need. What equipment will they need? What uniform will they need? Will you need to fund additional trips? And what level of cost are they going to be? Making sure that the school you pick is within your budget is very, very important. And making sure you don't get your heart set on a school that you can't afford is equally important as well. The next one to look at is location. If you're moving to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, or any city around the world, a location may be more flexible for you. But you need to consider how your children will get to school. Is that going to be a local bus service? Are you going to drop them? Are you going to have a driver take them every day? Are they going to look at whether they're going to be boarding during the week or throughout the term? So understanding the location in regards to where you're going to be living or where you're going to be working is very important. And don't just look at the gap on the map. Don't look at the distance in terms of absolute kilometres, because the distance can multiply in terms of time to travel with the traffic in many busy cities. And certainly that's the situation here in KL. In Kuala Lumpur, the traffic is very bad, and what is on some mornings a 10-minute commute in the middle of the traffic at peak hour can be much, much longer. So look at location, and that will take off some of the schools from your list. And then the last one is availability of places. It's very important again to consider whether a place is going to be available for your child. And if there isn't a place, are you willing to sit on a waiting list or in a waiting pool, waiting for that place to come up? Generally, it's much easier to get a place at a very popular school when the children are very small and there are lots of places at the intakes for 3, 4 and 5-year-olds. And as you go further up the school, generally it gets more difficult. If schools are popular and full, then you're often waiting for a child to leave for a place to become available. So again, when you're looking at considerations, are you willing to wait? Can you put a child's name down now? Or does it need to be a school that they can start immediately when you arrive in the city that you're moving to? So there are some considerations that we get popularly when we're touring. Parents have looked at kind of putting down the curriculum to go from, there are so many schools, which ones should we look at? So you've looked at the basics and you've picked that curriculum you want for your child, and you've selected schools that are within your budget, and you've looked at the location and you've checked the availability of places. So you've now got a short list of schools that you really want to focus on. But how do you pick the one that is right for your child? There are a number of factors here that you can start with, and these are the ones that we like to talk about when we talk to parents that are considering our school. And I think the first one, as a parent myself, is also to start with the teachers. They're going to be spending an awful lot of time with your child. They will be very important to them. And on my presentation here, there's a quote, really looks saying that highly effective teachers are able to produce much greater gains in student achievement than their less effective counterparts. A great teacher can make a real difference. So simply put, the better the teacher, the more likely the students are to succeed. And the studies quoted in this book here illustrate not only that the quality teachers determine the quality of what students are learning, but also how the effectiveness in the way they are teaching stays with students for years. So how do you understand how good teachers are at a school you're looking at for your child? There are a number of things you can check at to give pointers as to what the standard of teachers are. So firstly, check where they're from and where they were trained. If you're looking for a school that delivers a particular curriculum, so here we develop at Alice Smith, we deliver a curriculum based on the UK curriculum. So our teachers are more from the UK. So they have experience within the UK, and about 85% of them are UK based and UK trained. And then look for how long they stay with the school. So if an expat teacher is coming and they're only staying 2 years, that's the kind of standard contract length, then they all are moving on. That suggests that they are not happy within the school. Our teachers here stay for maybe 5-6 years, often a lot longer, and that just reflects how happy they are in the school. Have a look at what their experience and qualification level is. Teachers that are passionate and enthusiastic and continue to develop their own practice are essential. So look for evidence of professional development. A strong teacher continuing professional development program helps to attract and retain the best teachers, ensuring excellence in teaching and learning is maintained and enhanced. Look for accredited programs such as the Professional Development Quality Mark awarded by the Institute of Education at the University College London. And look for evidence that the teachers are ongoing professional development is happening. So, once you've looked at the teachers and you're happy that they reflect what you're looking for and can deliver the curriculum that you're so interested in your child learning from, where else can you look? So the next place I would suggest you look is actually check the accreditations. Now this might seem a kind of fairly basic thing. The school will have lots of logos, but actually check which ones they have, what they mean, and read the reports. International accreditation is really one of the ways you can assess the school's credibility and get an independent view of the school's quality by other educational professionals. So some of the marks you might look for here are the ISQM, the International School Quality Mark, COBIS from the Council of British International Schools, and membership of CIS, the Council of International Schools accreditation. These organisations conduct vigorous evaluations of every aspect of a school, from learning and teaching and student welfare to leadership and governance. And understanding that that check has been done by professionals that understand those standards will give you reassurance that the school is of a really great quality. The reports delivered by these organisations should also be freely available on their websites for you to look at and understand where they are excelling and where they may have points of development. If they're not available on the website, ask the school for them. They should be freely available for you to look at. In Malaysia, you should also look for the Ministry of Education's Quality Standards Award for private education institutions. This is sometimes abbreviated to SCIPS. The award is recorded based on the Ministry's assessment of 10 criteria, and these include the establishment and registration, institutional management, curriculum management, teaching and learning, assessment, examination management, teachers management and development, discipline, standards, cleanliness and cheerfulness, and international teaching management. The skips are awarded on a star rating, with 5 stars given the highest award. That's another quality standard to look for. Another thing that can indicate the quality of a school is the membership of a school group or an association. So in Southeast Asia, one of the active groups is abbreviated as CSAC, the Southeast Asia Student Activities Conference. Or you may hear about participation in AIMS events, the Association of International Malaysian Schools, or FOBISIA for British Schools, the Federation of British International Schools in Asia. Membership of these groups also is a great indicator that the school is offering high quality education and will provide a range of activities for your child to participate in, from sports events to maths events, from coding to Model United Nations conferences, from language competitions through to athletics meets and drama festivals. Memberships of these groups really give a sense that the school is offering a huge range of activities that your student and your child will be interested in. So you've looked at the teacher quality, you've checked the accreditations. What else could you look at? The next place I would suggest you look at is the school's website. Now, you've probably already looked at the school's website when you were shortlisting, but having got that short list of schools, now go back and take a really good look at what the school is saying about them. The school's website will give you a really good insight into the culture of the school. If the site's poorly maintained, with lots of broken links and out-of-date information, this could be a sign that services aren't well maintained throughout other areas of the school. So what else is the school not looking after in terms of physical and educational needs for the children? Take time to find the school's newsletters and look at and the blog posts to get a real sense of the school and the community. What sort of things do they talk about? What are the children getting up to? Are they involved in environmental activities or sustainability? What's the focus of the students in terms of not just their exam results, but the entire range of activities that the school and the community is involved in? As you read those, can you see yourself and your family as part of this school community? Is it something that you think, yes, I want my child to be involved in this way, and as a family we'll also be able to support them? After all, if your child is joining a school at 3 or 4 years and they go all the way through until they graduate at the end of A-levels or high school diploma, you're going to be working within working in that community for a very long time. There will be, do you see yourself as part of that community going forwards? So you look to the website, and alongside the website is the social media. So again, look at the social media channels. Are they posting regularly? And what sort of content do they actually post? Are the posts they're making very corporate and sales orientated, suggesting the school is heavily for profit? Or do they show candid posts of activities happening throughout the school? Can you get a good idea of what happens day to day? Are there a good range of activities again, and what are the children up to? Are they the things you want your child to be involved in? Do the children look happy? If they're posting candid photos of things happening in school and posts of activities, do the children look engaged, and are they participating? A good international school will really have a mix of posts reflecting the school's values and showing that students are actively engaged in a wide range of activities. There won't be an overall sales push. It'll be about what the school community is doing, because those posts are not just to attract parents to the school, they're also to communicate to the community what happens in the school and in the community on an ongoing basis. And so the channels you could be looking at, and not every school will be engaged in all of these, so don't anticipate that a school will be active across all social channels, but the ones they are active and have a presence in, are they kind of regularly engaged and posting activities. So they may be on Facebook, there may be video on YouTube, Instagram posts, Twitter, maybe TikTok, maybe Flickr in terms of albums of photographs, and then as we go on, they may be on LinkedIn. You can look at the quality of alumni often on LinkedIn and where students have graduated gone on to. And then also if you're looking for a school, you might be looking for something that has Chinese language. It might be a WeChat channel or maybe a Line channel as well. So again, all of these will be areas that you can look at to see what people are saying about the school and what the school is saying about itself. So you've got down to a very small shortlist, and this is the point where, if you really can, you should visit the school. And take time to see everything that's important to you and your family. If you need to, don't be afraid to go back for a second or a third visit. A school should welcome this. After all, you're making one of the most important decisions about the most important person in your life. When you're making a big purchase, you often would go back and test drive a car several times, or you would visit a condo or a house more than once while you're making a decision about which property to buy. As admissions staff in schools, we expect you to take the same amount of time over choosing your child's school. So we're here to help you and answer your questions. So make sure you ask about the things you want to see, and if there are things that are particularly important to you and your child, make sure you really understand what happens in the school in those areas. As you tour the school, look carefully at the facilities. Are they well maintained and being used effectively? The use of space really does impact learning and teaching. Therefore, spaces where ease of communication, the capacity to work with others face-to-face or online should be fundamental features of the design. Look for spaces that are flexible, open, and have access to resources. Obviously, at the moment, there are restrictions with the Ministry of Education SOPs in terms of how classrooms can be laid out. But looking at, as you look around schools and as you talk to other admissions staff at the virtual fair, take time to understand how the facilities are designed to work, but also how they've managed to incorporate the SOPs and abide by the SOPs within their campuses as well. A good school will have found ways to deliver their style of learning while still maintaining the features that they need to in terms of SOPs, in terms of physical distancing. And so also have a look at what's happening in the classroom. You can tell a lot about what is actually happening and look and see whether children are happy and engaged. Look and see if they're doing all the same thing. If a school has talked to you about the fact they offer personalised learning, your students will be doing similar but different activities based on their individual learning goals. If they've talked about delivering a play-based activity, are the children actually playing as in the reception or year one, grade one classes, or are they actually sat at desks doing the same thing? Look at the classroom displays They will also give you a really good idea of what's happening and what the children do. They should be talking about trips they've had and activities they've engaged in, and the work they will have done will show the standard the students are reaching, but also a range in terms of students reaching their own individual goals. In a classroom in an Alice Smith early years setting, we always look at the notice boards and the display boards because they will show where the children really wanted to do something, particularly to engage in a topic. So one child might choose to write and another child might choose to draw. And actually, the teachers are very skilled in ensuring that whatever activity the child has chosen to do within that range, it is moving them closer to their learning goals and meeting the goals within the early years curriculum that we deliver. And the same should be in similar schools. You'll be looking for, do what the admission staff and the teaching staff and the website say, are they actually happening in the classroom? So the important thing is to pick the school that feels right. No one knows your child better than you, and you need to find an environment that they will flourish in. In the same way that some people prefer a house to an apartment, some children will do better in one school than in another. And sometimes in individual families, one child will do better in one type of setting and another child will do better in another type of setting. And that's often a difficult decision for a family if they do want their children in the same school. And really, this is one of the things that we talk about a lot to families when they come to Alice Smith and to our primary school. It's actually, our school feels maybe more like a house in the centre of KL. We're on a 4.5 acre site with only children from 3 years to 11. Our older children are on a separate campus at Equine Park, about 20 minutes outside of the city, and where they have 25 acres of space. But in our primary school, it really does still feel like a house, and that feel is very important to us. It's not the same feel you get from other schools that maybe are built, which may be more akin to a condo. And again, that's a personal decision. You're the person that knows your child best, and make sure you take the time to understand where they will fit best, where they will flourish best, and where they will meet their best potential. We have many, many great schools in Malaysia. But hopefully here I've given you some tips and guidance as to what you could look for to kind of shorten down your list to focus on the schools that you want to see and where you feel your child will succeed. We hope that you, if you're interested in Alice Smith School, you will visit us at the virtual fair. You can find us here. As I mentioned, we are 2 campuses, the British International School. We are not-for-profit, and we really do focus on developing the whole child. So it's really important that children have a holistic education, and although we are non-selective, our students at the end, when they do graduate, go on to wonderful university destinations, including this year, 4 of our students are holding offers to the University of Cambridge, and we'll also see 3 of our students progressing to US Ivy League colleges, including Yale, which is great when you consider we are a non-selective school. To enter our school, our admissions team will be able to give you guidance on making an application, and we do, although we are non-selective, we will assess children to understand where they are sitting and to make sure if they're not first English language speakers, that they can meet the English language requirements that we have in school. I hope you've enjoyed listening to this presentation. We look forward to talking to you on our stand here at the virtual fair and maybe welcoming you to Alice Smith School in the future. Thank you for your time.